Now, there's a lot of misinformation that is flying about with relation to the Israel-Hamas war. And this is happening across all platforms, both on social media and also on a lot of mainstream media platforms as well. So we want to take a look at the claims and the counterclaims that have been made in this war so far. In the latest incident, Israel has released what is being dubbed as unverified CCTV footage of Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital. In the video, the Israeli army claims that Hamas brought in the captured Israeli hostages for treatment into the Al-Shifa hospital on the 7th of October. Now, the IDF spokesperson presented two short videos along with several still images that reportedly show the Hamas fighters bringing the Israeli hostages inside Gaza's largest medical facility.
This is 7th of October, 10:55 a.m. The evidence I will share was sent by Israel to diplomatic channels to the countries of those civilians. Here you can see Hamas taking a hostage inside the vicinity. He even doesn't look need a treatment, but they're taking him inside the hospital. I will now share this video that shows the same hostage entering into the hospital with a gunman, terrorist, inside the hospital. This is the main entrance of the hospital.
However, Gaza's health ministry has responded to the IDF by questioning the authenticity of some of the details in the videos and the stills. Now, Gaza's health ministry says that the picture shows hospitals providing medical care for anyone who may need it, including the Israeli hostages who may have been brought in.
About the occupation and American statements. About having proofs that there are hostages for the occupation in Al-Shifa. We say it clearly. We took many hostages to be treated in the hospitals and get surgeries, especially when some of them were injured due to the occupation's airstrikes. We talked to our fighters so the hostages could get the best treatment in Gaza. We published many pictures about this. And now, the enemy leaders and the spokespersons for their army and the Americans are leveling false allegations against us.
Now, the IDF spokesperson has dismissed the suggestion that the hostages had been brought in to the hospital because they were wounded, claiming that one of the two hostages was simply not injured and did not even require a medical checkup. He further added that the people were brought to the hospital first before being moved to a different hideout. According to the Israeli forces, the unedited video, as they claim, purportedly shows Hamas using Al-Shifa hospital, and this is what the Israelis claim, that it was an operational headquarters as well as a storage facility for their equipment. In the video, the Israeli military spokesperson entered the hospital to present evidence while pointing that security cameras had been obstructed by Hamas fighters.
This is what they found. These weapons. So we're inside the MRI center of the Shifa hospital. Israeli troops breached here a few hours ago, and we have cleared the area, make sure that it's safe. And a few of the most interesting things that we have found totally confirm, without any doubt, that Hamas systematically uses hospitals in their military operations in violation of international law. And what we have found, I think, is only the tip of the iceberg. Let me show you a few examples. Security cameras have been obstructed. All of the security cameras are covered, and this isn't the only one. You'll see the rest of them here. Follow me as we go in, and we will see the MRI center and see the weapons that Hamas has hidden inside.
All right, so that's an interesting disparity there. First saying that all security cameras inside Al-Shifa had been covered, and then to put out a CCTV footage from inside the Al-Shifa hospital. Now, Israel also claims that Hamas has been using several hospitals as a base for their operations. In this particular bit of evidence, the IDF spokesperson showed footage from the Qatari-funded Sheikh Hamad hospital in the Gaza city. Now, according to the Israelis, the evidence shows that Hamas's vast network of underground tunnels would stretch underneath the Qatari hospital.
Here you can see the IDF soldiers exposing a tunnel opening. This is part of an operation, a ground operation that was conducted on the hospital, then revealed a tunnel that was being used for terror infrastructures in the Qatari hospital. If it wasn't enough, this tunnel, if it wasn't enough, that we expose the tunnel under the hospital, the terrorists also shoot at our soldiers from within the hospital.
Although according to Al Jazeera's digital investigation agency, they've disproved the claims made by the Israeli authorities. They say in the video released by Israel's military shows a hatch in the hospital courtyard right next to an exterior wall that they allege leads to a tunnel. But according to the investigation, when they analyzed the satellite footage and archives of the hospital's construction, but also speaking to one of the original engineers of the hospital who built it, the opening is simply an access hatch for a water reservoir that the hospital uses to fill therapeutic pools for amputees, water the ground, and also a reserve water source in case of an emergency. Moreover, the 31 premature babies who have been safely now transferred from Gaza's main Al-Shifa hospital to another hospital in the south, the fate of these newborns at the Al-Shifa hospital had become the focus of global attention. Because remember, the Al-Shifa hospital had run out of electricity, its fuel had been cut. And after the release of images showing doctors who were trying to keep them warm. As outrage grew over reports of babies dying and a mass grave being dug, Israel had indicated a desire to mitigate the crisis there, not by ending the siege, but by offering mobile incubators. Now, experts and activists called out these Israeli claims. They say that the crisis in question is unrelated to incubators, but is related to Israel having cut off fuels to the hospital. Now remember, Israel has completely cut off fuel to the people in Gaza. This has resulted in the cutting off of power to the incubators and putting hospitals out of service. It has therefore placed the lives of babies and patients at risk. Seeing the situation unfold in West Asia, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that the world is witnessing an unparalleled and an unprecedented level of children's civilian deaths compared to any other conflict since at least the 2017 onwards.
Gaza is becoming a graveyard for children. Hundreds of girls and boys are reportedly being killed or injured every day. More journalists have reportedly been killed over a 4-week period than in any conflict in at least 3 decades. More United Nations aid workers have been killed than in any comparable period in the history of our organization. I salute all those who continue their life-saving work despite the overwhelming challenges and risks.
So a graveyard of children is how Antonio Guterres has characterized the Gaza Strip because of this campaign of relentless bombing by the Israelis, where they've targeted several hospitals and even United Nations-run schools. The United Nations chief has time and again reiterated his appeal for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
Of civilians is paramount. The laws of war establish clear rules to protect human life and respect humanitarian concerns. Those laws cannot be contorted for the sake of expedience. The world is witnessing a humanitarian catastrophe taking place before our eyes. More than 2 million people with nowhere safe to go are being denied the essentials for life: food, water, shelter, and medical care, while being subjected to relentless bombardment.
Now, the United Nations chief has also said that it is important to note that the attack carried out by Hamas on the 7th of October did not happen in a vacuum, and it is the result of the occupation of the Palestinian territories by Israel.
It is important to also recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. They have seen their land steadily devoured by settlements and plagued by violence, their economy stifled, their people displaced, and their homes demolished. Their hopes for a political solution to their plight have been vanishing. But the grievances of the Palestinian people cannot justify the appalling attacks by Hamas, and those appalling attacks cannot justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.